Hey everybody! Nice to see you this evening. If you're here and you're watching me this evening, I know for a fact that you're not at San Diego Comic Con because what I think are they still open there? It's about 6 p.m. Pacific time, so I forget. Is it they end at 6, they end at 7? Maybe it's 7. I can't remember. Maybe it's 6:30. Either way, I know you're not there, but I'm glad you're here with me. So, as many people noticed, I did not get a mailing out today. That was it was unfortunate. I couldn't get to it. Just too many things going on around the house. Lots of good stuff though. Lots of good stuff going on with Collectors Network, OAX, and at the house I had some construction workers here. Literally the last month, every day getting some interior work done on something. And today they finished. So once they got done, I had a lot of work trying to get the house back in order just a little bit. But yeah, that's why. So good. I see Dino's here. Dino, so you're not in San Diego, and we've got John Brown, Marcos, of course, Gabe. Marcus is here, and he's in San Diego. Marcus? I've got photographs of you from San Diego that I'm going to be showing off today. You probably already knew that, didn't you? You're not camera shy. I think that is very true. So, Mr. Red Jack and Rick Welch, nice to see you all. Number one Marvel fan. Southern Comic Geek was in here early. Rick Welch. So yeah. Well, so it's good to have everybody here. Since we're talking about San Diego, I might as well just jump into just some of the stuff I have from San Diego. I have a dearth of photographs that have been sent my way, and they probably are all not going to be in any cohesive order, even by the person that sent them to me. Anthony has sent me a ton, but they're all scattered all over the place as far as like what I'm going to show off today. But it's all there. And he had I don't know. Well, that's right. He sent me stuff from his trip when he was in Scottsdale. I think is where he started out this time around. So I've got some Scottsdale photos. I've got some photos from the TorpedoCon that was the weekend before last, and then a ton of photographs from preview night from several different people. So we'll go through, all these pics here. I just have to kind of load it up for us all to take a look at it. But fun as always. And for those of us who can't make it to the big show this year, we get to enjoy it this way, which is okay, right? I mean, I don't mind. San Diego is a show that always feels like work to me, and I'm sure many of you who go to it probably feel the same way. I don't think anybody that I know that goes there. I mean, everybody that goes does have a great time, but it's a lot of work, and it's always a lot of money to go, but it's a good time. And so here, let me get get the screen shared here with everyone. And I mean, look who's in the first photograph. Of course, we knew it had to be Anthony because he's taken the most photos. But we got Khalil too. Kay Guerin is in the house, and this was taken in the pop-up show that Anthony did in Scottsdale. Again, if I'm not mistaken, I keep saying Scottsdale. It might not be right, but it was the first pop-up show that Anthony did along his trip. Marcus is saying there was no consent to be live with Albert. Yeah, I'm sure Albert would like to be on sometime again soon. I'll work that out. Jason, the reason you didn't think there was a show, I didn't send out a mailing, but I'm glad you're here. It's was again busy day. Khalil KG brings class. Yes, he does. Absolutely. He's not holding any art, so I don't know if he bought anything while he was there. You'd think Anthony would be frowning in the photo if that were the case, but hey, it is what it is. I think that is the only photo I had from his pop-up show, but we'll find out when I thumb through this stuff. What else has he got here? Because I think Anthony takes photos either on two different phones or in two different modes. I don't know what the heck he does, but everything I'm showing you is kind of flowing alphabetically out of a folder, and so we're skipping over his photos from TorpedoCon and jumping right into his setup. Look, and there is the crotch goblin in the background. The crotch goblin comes up a lot in these photographs from Anthony. We do have some stuff from Cool Lines, Marcus. Yes, we do. In fact, we have a video clip from Cool Lines. Not the only video clip I've got tonight, but a first of its kind video clip from Cool Lines we're going to see. You want me to live stream the Cool Lines Friday Grill reveal? No. It wouldn't be the same. I told them to record it though, so I'm sure they will. And we'll see. I'll probably get a copy of that to show next week's CAF update. But what do we got here? We got Mikhail and Jeff Wedding giving the peace sign and a thumbs up. So, but they're not holding any art either. But Anthony, he's still smiling, so he must be having a good time. Art sales be damned. But looks, yeah. What are you guys talking about? X-Men 193. I don't know. Would that be right? I'm not sure because I'm not sure the era. Let me see, X-Men 193, because I know the artist on the X-Men page. I can't remember who was drawing it at 193. So you would be wrong, Jason. Just letting you know. It's not going to be 193 because it's not that artist. Now I'm giving you a clue. So, and again, I do not know what the piece is. I just know the artist on the X-Men piece because they did offer that up to me. Oh, look at that. Jeff Wedding's actually blushing at the sight of the crotch goblin. Unbelievable, right? I didn't think anything can make Jeff blush, but look, nothing phases Mikhail though. And he's got a rather large gift in his hand, it looks like. But yeah, there you go. Brian Peck's dinner is tonight. Oh, that's true. That is very true. I should text him. Brian is actually having probably the biggest dinner of his life that he's ever done at San Diego. I believe he has over 25 people in attendance this year. I imagine that Dinesh is going to attend. I know Zatari's going, so it should be a pretty good time for those who can make it. I mean, I definitely would have went this year if I could have gone out. Yes, a well-placed comic book. Very, very, very astute to TMD1. Thank you for that. Yeah, you got that right, bootlegging, as far as Anthony's photos being cohesive. They're not, but again, great photograph here. And look, they even have a wheel to spin. It doesn't quite look like the wheel that they spin during Dueling Dealers, but hey, what else we got here? What is it? Is that Jay? I can't tell. These photos, yes, because that looks like Brandon Peterson back there, right? Who else was there on preview night? I think is that Cesar Alvarez in the background? Lance Suarez. I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure what. You can see they're still setting up if they haven't got their back wall together yet. Then Peach Bamoko, she was sitting at Adi Granav's table, and I believe she's right at the end of the. I think she's right near where Berkey's at. So let's see here. And speaking of, here's why. There's Mike Berkey. And I think that's his brother's gut there on the left, John. Any good art that we can see? Any X-Men art that he brought that I don't know about? Probably not. Let's see. Back wall. Everything that Mike brings with him has to be on his website. So it almost never will be anything that you haven't seen before. That is his mantra with regards to what he takes to San Diego. Oh, and okay. I thought it looked like Caesar. And hey, look at that, Bashar's booth. Now, Bashar always brings artwork that he doesn't have on his website. That is his MO. Completely opposite in both of their approaches. I guess Bashara is still set up right across from Mike, but as we all know, that is the way Bashara runs his shop, and it's a good thing, right? You always know that you're going to see something that he doesn't have available to everybody else. And Mark Hay. So we got Mark Hay's booth, I think. Yeah. Don't know who's hanging out in the booth. Well, that is his significant other, Kathy, and his usual array of artwork on the back wall. What else we got here? Another Bashara shot. Gene Park, right? I believe, and it looks like could be Hans, but I don't know. Then Anthony's son sketching while he's hanging out at the booth, and Sharon in the background. Finally, a Sharon sighting. Probably will not be the last. Hey, Ian, nice to have you with us. I like that plop cover too, Rich Danny's. Oh, we got Scott Eater over here too. Look at that. Scott's booth is always fun. I mean, you never know what you're going to get, right? There's a Two-Fisted Tales cover on the back wall, right next to a Robert Crumb. I mean, you're never going to be disappointed when you go over to see what Scott brings to any show. Yeah, that's some nice stuff there. Let's see. And I've been getting texted a lot. People ask me if I want artwork. I'm being texted right now by somebody who's letting me know about a piece they saw that they think I would like. It's nice. I'm sure several of you have gotten those similar texts. Hey, Jeff Wedding is there. Jeff, you didn't get to see the photo of you blushing looking at the crotch goblin, but I'm glad you're here. Definitely glad you're here. And Jeff got his cowboy hat signed by Anthony. I don't know if that's made it any more valuable than before, but maybe. Then we've got Adam and Allison hanging out, obviously, and I know that they sold out of all of the sketch covers that they did. I know we're going to see a better photo of those in a little bit. Looks like what's he got here? He's got a Catwoman in there and a Spider-Man in the portfolio. Hopefully he'll be doing something very similar for OAX. I can't imagine how he would not. Doing those sketch covers with Allison and bringing a portfolio full of art you've never seen. Is there a show tonight or just a chat? It's a show. It's a show. Is that Alex Chun? No, that does not look like Alex Chun. Alex is a little bit shorter and a little bit rounder. Unless he's lost a lot of weight. So that's not, but I don't think so. And then we got Peach Momoko's table again over here. And what else? Mike, as taken by Anthony. I think Anthony likes to take photos of Mike where it looks like nobody's at Mike's table. He's very crafty like that. So as you can see, if this were your impression of Mike's table, you would think that he's just mad because nobody's buying any of his artwork. There is a gap in his back wall. That's interesting, but there's Glenn Brunswick with his backpack and shoulder sling right there. But let's see, what was the next one? Because then you go over to Albert Moy's booth, and of course, Albert Moy is probably giving away cookies that Lance Suarez had made for him, and he's got a booth full of people, and of course, the big smile on his face because he's Albert Moy. He is the man everybody wants to hang out with. So do we get to see, is Marcus in the background in here anywhere? Don't see him. Marcus is probably out buying some artwork somewhere. Yeah, Rick Welch says he's got no chance. Exactly. But I think that's creative editing by Anthony in the way he likes to portray things. What do we got here? Ramos here hanging out and just getting started on preview night. Oh, there you go. Art Adams, a little blurry photo, but it's there nonetheless. There's Mr. Jason Schachter. It's hard to recognize Jason. He's got a little bit of that chrome thing going on up there, but I know those glasses anywhere. So this is the whole. Is it all Essential Sequential? It must be. Can't tell who's in the back there. Nope. Cannot see if there's anybody of importance behind that big line of people. What else we got here? Here we go. Look, Mikhail, he's just leaping in at the last second here to get in on the photo. And there we go. Now he's in full view. Now this is definitely from Marquet, I'm pretty sure. So this is taken in from Marquet's booth. Man, there's that plop cover again, Rich. Let's see here. Oh, Mr. Easy Go Lucky hanging out. That's John. He's got some signed copies there. Oh, and look at that, a remarked version of it right on the portfolio. How nice. I don't think Anthony would have done that, so Sharon must have drew that for him. Very, very good. Oh, see, now this one was not taken by Anthony because he's got customers now. Oh, look, it's Rob Liefeld hanging out. Very cool. I wonder what Mike is saying to Rob in this photograph. I honestly, I did not preview these photos, so this is a first pass through for me as well. That's funny. A lot of lawyers in the house there, I think. Yeah, that's probably true. One Marvel fan. No, do not recognize anybody else here other than Rob. And there we go. This is look at the prices on these. Very fair, of course, if you're after anything by Adam. Look at that, $2,000 on a Black Cat sketch cover. It's hot. That Aunt May that he had on the back on his drawing table when we did the interview last Thursday is there for $2,000. I wondered if the I'm on the Toilet was going to sell right away, and obviously this whole table was sold out immediately. So I know, isn't that great? Yeah, that is exactly what Rob was asking. Got burn X-Men. Uh, I know. But yeah, I did see that Allison posted on Facebook earlier today that everything on that table sold out on preview night. As well it should. That's a better view there. Well, I guess we can see some of the prices a little bit better. See, the most reasonably priced one on there was the Phoenix at $200. No color on that one. Allison couldn't get to that one. But the other ones, all fair. So that's cool. I thank Mark Hay for that. No, I don't know what this. He's got a video clip in here. No sound though. Wouldn't pay to have any sound on anyway. I'm not sharing the sound on this thing. So that's Mark showing off his back wall, and he never films horizontally like I tell him. But what are you gonna do? And he stopped just before he showed us anything from Marvelous Mike Berkey. There's Mark's booth. What do we got there? Some Sean Phillips art. And who else we got around here? Some Paulo stuff. And Charlie Adlard. That's all right. Not bad. See, Mark's making sure we all get to see his booth before the show. And what else we got here? Oh, look at that. Mike showing off his art. And he's still, look, he had that gap there. So he didn't sell anything, everybody. Let's just put it that way right there. We know that this gap existed before the show even opened. Okay. See? We're answering. There it is again. So we know it. We know that something was not sold off the back shelf. But Mike's having a good time. I did text with him earlier today. Oh, now here's a photo from TorpedoCon. And I don't know if anybody knows any of the people that they can see, shout out the name. Of course, yeah, Anthony's texting me about art. I'm not going to scroll back through Anthony's text to see if he actually named any of the artists. But what do we got? I know that's how Anthony signs his name. Keep calm and keep collecting. KC, because Anthony can't sign Anthony Snyder on his stuff. Come on, Anthony. We love you, but you gotta use your real name when you're filling out these things. Let's see. Oh, look at Joseph's hanging out. Somebody put Joseph in the corner on this one. I don't know what he did wrong. It's a faux pas that only an Englishman can make, probably. But yeah, there he is. And look, they've got plenty of water, aqua to drink. That's not a normal thing you see at a con. It's nice to see there. Mike Mayhew. Okay. Shaking hands, kissing babies. Who do we got over here? I'm not. Come on. Where's the name? I can't read that name on the side. Who is that? Anybody who knows, you can put it in the chat. I'm not sure who that is. It's a DC artist, all right. More of Anthony's setup there. Of course, he mixes in the comics with the art when he's at Torpedo. Number one Marvel fan. If you offer up time in a booth, you are going to definitely get that. Do you think that was Ryan? I guess it could be Ryan. Yeah, that does. Yep, I think you got it. EJB. Thank you. All right, so I don't recognize anybody back there. Oh, I do know this is Jewish Dragons from the chat over here, checking out some stuff over at Anthony's table. There's Rich, the hardest working man at Anthony's warehouse. Jewish Dragons again, right there. Let's see. And Marcus confirmed that was Ryan. Steve Crow right there, and hanging out, buying art. Not with a bicycling shirt on like he usually does. And not sure who that is. Somebody from Captured Comics or CGC. I wonder if Anthony's getting that one graded. So that's a possibility. Let's see. Oh, Philip. There it is. Nice. He's got a remarked version of Anthony's cover. Oh gosh, I don't remember who this guy is. I know he's a director of something, but I don't know what. We know that Marcus is here and he was there, so maybe he can tell us who this gentleman is. This is Carson Lacqua. I haven't seen Carson in a long time. But there he is, hanging out. The bounty hunter dude. He did look like dog, didn't he? This must be Anthony when he's... Oh, this is his comic book side of the hall. You get it when he's setting it up, it looks like. Why would he include that? That's not an action shot worthy. Here we go. Look at that. Yeah, see, now Anthony doesn't look happy here, does he? But Lance looks like he's having a good time holding the crotch goblin. And here we are, the photo that everyone has been waiting for. The man who bought the crotch goblin. And here you have it. Marcus with a sugar-free cookie. Yep, you got the variant remarked cover and the crotch goblin. Look at that. Anthony's even got stickers of the crotch goblin given away. Well, that is very nice, Marcus. And I saw that Marcus may allow the crotch goblin to travel to OAX. I don't know if Anthony took him up on that offer or not, but the offer is out there, and so we may get to have it at the OAX show at the end of January. So fingers crossed. I've actually never gotten to see it in person. I think many of us would like to get our picture taken with it too. There's Caesar. See, it was the ponytail throws me off when I see him from the side, but Cesar Alvarez right there with Sharon and Anthony. What else we got here? Oh, it's a video of Anthony's booth. See, these guys know how to market. It's the quick fly through. Look at that. He's got pasties on artwork behind the wall. At least they have prices on them, I think. And there we go. Anthony has to remind everybody that he's got a Dueling Dealers shirt on. And Mike, he looks tired, but still giving the thumbs up. So hopefully Mike's not giving everybody colds this year. That would be ideal. They need to take a picture with Sharon, get a group shot for us. And Anthony signing his KC, I imagine, on that one. All right, yeah, most likely. And this is Jim Chung, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony is next to a table of butts. Might be. Might be. Can they do a live doing? Well, they can't do it without me, TMD1. Where would they be without my confident leadership in that on that show? I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely Jim. So Anthony must be going around buying artwork. That's what the photos are for. And Sharon just hanging out, looking Sharonish, and she's got her cake on her head, of course. Oh, we have a video that we can't hear anything on. I have no idea. Or maybe I should turn it on. I can hear it. No. Anyway, so not sure what that was all about. There's Sharon photobombing a photograph with Anthony, and I can't tell because of the distorted face whom that is. Marcus, I rely on you for helping me figure out who some of these people are. And now we got Sharon. She apparently has bought a piece by Peach Momoko, it looks like. I'm not sure if that's a cover or it's just some kind of specialty pinup that she did. But there's Peach right there, Peach's husband. And I don't see Adi in the group yet, but he probably will show up at some point. Oh, look at she gets to talk to her a little bit. She's got a Chucky shirt on. Nice. There we go. That's the proper photo for that. Look at that. No carpet on those floors, everybody. All concrete. Do not slip and fall there. You are going to get hurt. And Sharon's got a Tim Vigil vampire slaying image here, and she doesn't look happy about it. I guess if she's trying to emulate that, yeah, you can already kind of put the whole conversation in your head. Anthony picks this up from Tim because it looks just like Sharon, and he gets Sharon to pose just like that, right? So Peach loves horror. See, the one. There we go. I did not know. Hey, Ronald Shepard, nice to have you here. No carpets. They do not. There are no drapes either, Jason. So nothing to match. Is that? Did I hit the end? My goodness. I guess I did hit the end. That's all. That's all the photographs I got. Okay. Well, that is that. I can scratch that off the list. But I do have a couple things to remind everyone about. Is it going to be in DD next week? I don't think so. If Sharon's holding it, I think that means that Sharon, Anthony bought it for Sharon. And so I don't think we're going to see that. Now, the Tim Vigil piece we may see in Dueling Dealers next week, but hard to say. Where were we? Okay, so somebody was asking about Cool Lines. I think it was Marcus. But so, yes, I actually have a video of Steve. If you've never met Steve, you're going to get to meet Steve in this video. He doesn't introduce himself, but it is Steve. And it's they're kind of talking about the art reveal that is going to happen tomorrow. At what time? I know he emailed me. I think it's at 1 p.m. Pacific. Let me double check that just to be sure. Yes, 1 p.m. Pacific. We are going to get to see what these 4 grails are. But so they sent me 3 video clips that I edited together for the speech here, and it might sound a little tinny, and that was only because I had to apply a filter to it to kind of get the background noise out. Everybody knows how loud it gets in San Diego, especially over there by Artist Alley, which Cool Lines always faces Artist Alley. So I had to put a filter on it that dropped out the background noise, but it kind of makes the audio a little funky. But you can hear Steve just fine.
Hi, this is Steve Donnelly, and welcome to our Cool Lines art booth for San Diego Comic-Con 2023. This year, our special event is the reveal of 4 pieces of original art. This is the first time that they have become available for sale. They are fresh to the market, and they are all 4 pretty impressive. First up, we have a Golden Age original art cover by one of the great artists of the 1940s and later. It's one of 3 known examples in the world, and it's from a publisher where almost all of the original artwork was destroyed. This hero cover, I think, will be very impressive to the collector's market when we reveal it on Friday. Next, we have the Silver Age DC cover, the first one of this hero drawn by this top 5 comic artists of all time, and it is also the only large-size example, the large-size scale that was drawn by this artist. So it's pretty special. Third, we have a Jack Kirby piece from early in the Silver Age of Marvel. This is not only from the key issue and represents the cover scene, the only page in the book that represents the cover scene. It is also the first appearance of one of the top 5 villains in the Marvel comic book and cinematic universe. Last but not least,
attention exhibitors.
Last but not least, we have an Uncanny X-Men cover from the 1980s. This is one of the great examples by one of the key artists. It had a long run on the title, and it is not only a very good mix of the heroes, but it has the first appearance of some key characters. And I think everyone will be interested in seeing this when we reveal this at our booth 5112 on Friday afternoon. So whoever's here at San Diego Comic-Con, I hope you can stop by when we pull back the curtain on these 4 Grail pieces, and you will see what is beneath, and I hope you will be impressed with the pieces. They will all be available for sale or trade. Thank you.
See you Friday.
There you go. There you have it. So yeah, that's Steve Donnelly. For those of you who have never met him, he usually just does West Coast shows, so he doesn't make the trip out east to go to Comic Art Con and wherever else Rich ends up going. But anyways, Silvestri 229 is his next guest. I don't know, Jason. You're going to have to find out tomorrow at 1 p.m. And you'll get to find out the prices then too. As you saw, there were Post-it notes on all that artwork, so he's got everything priced. while he's there. I like the other one. Okay. But I love the interruption from the announcer, as always. Exhibitors. It's probably like the hall is closing in 5 minutes. So, and they'll have no asking prices, says Knights of Old. No, the thing is, honestly, they actually will put, now I can't say what's in the portfolios, but anything that goes up on the back wall has a price on it. It may change from day to day, but it definitely will have a price on it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, hey, Comic Book enjoys the fact that I'm wearing the Kankor t-shirt. Yep, with Sabretooth Swordsman and Jack the Radio right in the center. So, totally, I'm with Dino on this. I mean, obviously, we've enjoyed showmanship over the last 3 years doing live streams, and many of us, including Dino, have embraced doing reveals and that sort of thing. And I think it's fine. It's fun. Why not? Right. I mean, Donnelly's Friday afternoon is a perfect time to reveal it. Gives them 2.5 days to potentially sell it while they're there. And it gives people a reason to come out to the booth. We need to, I appreciate the fact that people are trying to get creative. I mean, they came to me to, send out a sponsored mailing for them too. That's why he wants more picks. I get it. And Comic Book says he has the Kankor #1 wraparound cover. Sweet, man. That's awesome. I love the book. I picked it up from Matt in last year with the remark in it. So love his work. And Matt is going to be at OAX, as everybody knows. Although we haven't had him on the show yet to announce that. We have no OAX announcements tonight. I should let everybody know. But next week is probably going to be chock full of announcements because just so many things going on. Doing something this week just wouldn't make sense with so many people at San Diego. No reason to steal the thunder of that show. It will probably be whatever is underneath those curtains or behind the curtains, Marcus, will be priced a lot. It is what it is. But the one thing I haven't seen it. Nobody took any photographs of Cool Line's booth, so I always go by their booth during San Diego because there's usually decent stuff to look at, even if you're not going to be in the market to buy anything. The bottom line is that Steve and Rich usually have some good stuff, and if you didn't know, I mean, they do have a lot of portfolios behind the table, so when they bring their entire inventory, it's a pretty cool opportunity to get to ask them even to look at what else they brought, especially Jason, if you're an X-Men fan, because, Rich has piles of that. And he usually brings a couple X-Men portfolios of stuff that you'd have to really make him an offer he can't refuse to pry a piece or two away. But even if you just get to look at the artwork, it's definitely worth it. So, all right. What else I got from San Diego? I think that's probably it. Remember to stop by Hakes. I still have those little images from last week still up in here. Remember, they're handing out the buttons. They got the art previews for their auction that is next week, right? It ends Wednesday, so that's was it Wednesday and Thursday? But I think the art ends on Wednesday. We've got that Star Wars #1 Chaikin page that I think everybody's excited about. The Green Lantern page is awesome too. So yeah. And speaking of Hakes, the only package I have to open this week came from Hakes. So I can't imagine what it is. I did not get my catalog like I thought I would have, but I also couldn't find a knife. So I've got my Batman Batarang bottle opener. We're going to use that. Hopefully it's doesn't damage whatever is inside of here. Boy, it's not even sharp. How does Batman do anything with this damn thing? Shoot. So let's see. Yeah, this isn't working out. Come on, there's got to be a knife around here when I need one. Why is there not here? We'll just find a way to get in here. This thing is like taped up like Fort Knox. I don't think there's any art in here. What could they have sent me that needed to be packaged so securely? All right. They sent me the pins. There we go. So I've got my own set of Hakes San Diego 2023 pins. That's awesome. They're mine now. I've got a whole set to do with as I please. So thank you to the team at Hakes for sending those to me. And what booth are they at? I should remind everybody, right? 704. Booth 704. All San Diego Comic-Con long. All right. What else we got in here? I missed a few things in the chat. I just revealed. Yeah, you've been revealing the Bill Lash commission. Did you really? Did you actually get a Bill Lash commission? You better not. Now I'm concerned. But anyway, moving right along. I've got now that I got that. You know what? We've got another great Bob Layton. Where in the world is Bob Layton? That Kazra kind of pulled together from Bob today. And the cool thing is that next week we will actually have Bob on live because he will be in Korea next week. And so I think when we're doing our show, it's like 10 a.m. the next morning over there. So we'll have him on probably for a half hour and BSing with him. So it's going to be a long show next week. So that's why we're going to keep tonight's show, within reason, because next week with the OAX announcements and having Bob on live, it's going to be it's going to be a good show. Oh, come on. Kazra's putting a link to this thing in there. Come on. Did you really do it, Marcus? All right. I'm going to have to look. Sean Chen. All right. Here, I'll go ahead and show it to everybody just for the heck of it. Give everybody a laugh. We even had him sign it and say Bill Lash on there. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Here we go. There I am in all my buff glory right there. And of course the zipper on my mouth is closed. So what more can I say? Thank you for that. We've added another piece of art of me for everyone to enjoy. Oh boy. I want to know what Sean said. You should have shot a little video of Sean asking him what he thought about putting together this commission. Yeah. Oh my God. Too good. Thank you, Chris. Oh, brother. All right. I love it. Thank you, Marcus. I mean, you get a few. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you son of Oh, boy. Yeah. I think Bill Lash should make the rounds to everybody we know this weekend, Marcus, and get the reaction. I'd love to see Bill Lash with Albert. He probably won't pose with it, but if you could put it right behind him, it would almost be like he was posing with it. So, boy. Yes, Berkey reaction is priceless. Oh, boy. Well, at least I made it. I made it to San Diego one way or another. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Sean, for having the wherewithal and the I don't even know what you'd want to call that, the desire to see that convention sketch through. So back to Bob Layton. Let me go ahead and James says he needs one of those masks for doing dealers. He said it was an odd request, says Marcus. I'm sure he did. But probably not the most odd one he's ever gotten. Now back to Bob Layton. Let's see what Bob is up to in his last days in Europe. Of course, he's going back to Europe after he's over there in Korea and Thailand and wherever else he's going in that area of the world. But here he's his last days. And where is that video? Here we go.
Hey, Castra, Bill, and all the CAF fans out there. This is Bob Layton, traveling around the world. This time I'm in Madrid, Spain. And boy, do I have some stories to tell you. I couldn't do any man on the street stuff today or yesterday because my phone exploded. I don't know if you follow the weather in Europe, but it was 104 degrees the last 3 days. And as I was walking down the street, taking in the sights, I hear a pop in my back pocket, and I look, and there's like a little hole in my iPhone. And apparently, it overheated and exploded. And it's only 4 months old because I bought new stuff before I left the States. So anyway, I found a Spanish Apple store nearby and took it there. So unfortunately, I didn't have any footage of my signing on Tuesday at Omega Center, but we had a packed house. It was fantastic. There was standing room only for my little talk and signing or whatever for the new Panini Iron Man book. And so it was great. I'm out here right now in my Garden Terrace hotel room. It's very nice, as you saw. So I'm getting ready for the next signing on Saturday. And then I'm off to South Korea. We'll be able to do live broadcasts next week because it'll be 10 o'clock in the morning when you guys are on. It'll be 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. I'll actually be Future Man. How about that? So anyway, while we're on the subject of comic art and comic art fans, I've been meaning to bring this up because I made a discovery when I was packing. When I was packing up all my belongings to put into storage, I had boxes of Xeroxes. Now, in the old days, I used to just make, Xerox copies of everything before computers were as efficient as they are now. So I'm going through these boxes of Xeroxes, just throwing them away or whatever. And stuck between two Xeroxes was this. It is a page from Iron Man, I think, I'm trying to remember what it is, which issue it was. It's the Undersea Armor issue. I think that, whatever. But this page was just stuck between two Xeroxes. As you can see, it's quite detailed in terms of being one of the better action pages. I had it appraised, and it's somewhere around $2,000 to $4,000. I'm like, and it was just sitting there in a box for God knows how many years. Just goes to show you, man, don't throw anything away without looking through it first. So yeah, it's I had to wait till the sun goes down here to do this because it is absolutely scorching, unbelievably hot. Which kind of makes up for Copenhagen, which was unbelievably cold. God knows what I'm getting into in Korea. I just, saw that they were having flooding there last week. So, who knows? But anyway, so yeah, I have one more signing. And then Tuesday, I'm off to South Korea for 6 weeks. So we're going to have, they're planning so much stuff there. It's amazing. We're going to have 2 USO shows that we're going to do for the troops that are stationed there at the beginning of the month and the end of the month at the 2 Air Force bases. I'm so excited about that because, anytime you get a chance to do something for the troops, that's what you want to do. And I'm going to meet with the actor from Old Boy. We're going to do a podcast together. We're doing a theater opening. We're doing signings. We got the new Iron Man book with the new cover that I did. It's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it. And I just added Thailand to my journey too. After I finish Korea, I'm heading to Thailand for a week. So if there's any Thai fans out there, write me, at through my website or whatever. Let me know if you're going to be around. I'm going to be in Phuket for a week, and then I'm heading back to Greece for my big fat Greek wedding for my friend Andreas, who's getting married. And so I'm gonna be hanging in Europe a little longer than I expected. But anyway, listen, I'll see you all next week, and next week we'll be live, so I can answer questions. You guys can type in your questions or whatever, and we'll be able to talk one-on-one. Anyway, good luck, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Well, it's going to be fun next week. That's for sure. I'll make sure Kazra joins me for that live chat with Mr. Layton. That's going to be fun. I'll make sure I never use the word honored when we're doing another conversation with Bob. I don't want to ruffle any feathers there. But Ronald, for those of you who didn't know the Bill Lash joke, I mean, well, you'd have to go back to many Dueling Dealers episodes ago. I don't even remember which one it was, but yeah, Bill Lash was a Sean Chen joke from Batlash. I don't even remember what the heck that was, but I think Mike made a joke of it. He was trying to make fun of me, and Marcus bought the art, of course, and had me sign it last year at San Diego. So yeah, it does look like the GIMP. That's what's funny about it. Absolutely. So I don't mind being made fun of every now and again. Levity is the spice of life. So what else we got here? I go over the schedule real quick. I haven't changed too much, I believe. I think the only thing I changed on here was I got Koi Fam's date figured out. He's going to be on the weekend of November 18th now. He was going to be early in August and moved that back. As far as interesting stuff goes, of course, the Simone show next, the Saturday after next is going to be great. There's going to be, well, I haven't been told or shown any of the art. I just know that the general overview of what he's going to be bringing. So that there's a lot of great stuff that I think those of you who are fans of his work are going to enjoy. We've got that post show with San Diego show with Berkey. We've got the Dan Brereton show. I'm finally starting to get some teaser images from, and I'm not going to show them to anybody. I remember I showed a lot of the teaser images last time, and that just gave away so much good stuff. He's knocking himself out once again. I got an email today with at least a dozen pieces in there, and they're all unbelievable again. And I mean, there's like 3 or 4 I'd like to buy this time around, and I won't. But yeah, I'm not going to show him off this time. But he's working really hard to get. I don't know if he's going to shoot for 40 or whatever he had the last time, but he's going to have a lot. Who did we add in here? I mean, you knew about the amateur dueling dealer match on the 19th between Jordan and Matt. That's going to be a lot of fun. We've got Chaikenback, Koyson, Amanda Connor, Dexter Vines, Dennis Cowan, Mike Oeming, Scott Collins, Bo Hampton. Bo Hampton moved to the 16th. I don't remember if I told everybody that, but yeah, 16th of October. Kevin Nolan will be back at the beginning of November. Of course, Comic Art Live will be the weekend of November 11th and 12th. And we did move Comic Art Live in May up to the 11th and 12th. And as everybody who follows Como saw, they did finally announce that they are going to be on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of 2024. So while I never got final confirmation from Steve, it was pretty much a dead sure thing that he was going to go with that weekend. So that's it. So that's done. So that's how we're going to do it. And as Rick Welch just said, Brereton is on fire. Yeah, his stuff is too good. I just don't want to. I don't want to reveal anything. I'll just to say that the pieces that I saw today are freaking gorgeous, and leave it at that. So one more thing before I get into the CAF update, and that is I have a new page I love by Kevin Sharp, brought to us by Kevin Sharp. This time with Scott Koblish, and he's doing a page from Love and Rockets, and again, it's I don't know, it's about an 8 or 9 minute conversation, but really I never read. I hate to say it, I've only read a few copies of Love and Rockets. Never read it all the way through. That's blasphemy, I know, for many of you. I love the art, just never taken the time to go through it. And I know there's been some really great omnibus type things that have been put out there. I should just pick one up and go through it and get it out of my system. But the page that Scott's going to review is pretty interesting, and I think everybody's going to appreciate his kind of deep dive into a 9-panel grid layout, and just the way he kind of goes through it and talks about the flow here. So I'm going to go ahead and show off the latest page I love with Scott Koblish.
Hey, it's Kevin Sharp. Today I am joined by Scott Koblish, the artist on Scotch McTiernan versus the Forces of Evil, as well as, of course, numerous other comic books. We're going to be discussing a page from Jaime Hernandez's Love and Rockets.
Hello. So the page I chose is the last page on that story. The story itself is my favorite story. It's hard to separate out which page was my favorite. on this one because there are some tremendous pages. Honestly, the entire story is told in a 9-panel grid, which dovetails back and forth throughout Izzy Ortiz, her history as a human being, essentially. Izzy is in Mexico in the story, and she's wrestling with demons past and present, and it's a horror story where she's dealing with the blowback in her own history of just arguments and trouble with her father, and previous relationship and marriage that did not go well, an abortion that she had, a suicide attempt. And she's writing in Mexico in some effort to try and give herself some peace of mind. She's with a family, this one father and his son, and then she sort of falls into their orbit. She has some joy in her life from it, but she's always dogged by these demons. And there's all these roosters involved in the story. There's all these lizards, sort of salamanders, that are involved visually in the story. Jaime is a very his artwork is always just straight black and white. There's very little shading that's going on. So there's the blocking of the panels is incredible. The use of shadow to have to sort of focus on things. The use of the way that the panels are even orchestrated. There's a, not in this page, but in one of the previous ones, there's a page of like a tree and a little building, but the tree and the building are way up at the top, and almost 80% of the panel is black. So he has a very stark way of drawing, and the reason I chose the page that I did was, and let me take a look at it right now, is I could never get this image of the second panel out of my head. So there's this beautiful woman in the first panel, and she's smiling at her, at the reader, at Izzy. And the second panel is, she's literally got, we look at the footprints and the dust and the dirt, and from this beautiful woman, it's these crow's feet, it's these rooster feet, like that's the imprint that she makes. And it's supposed to be just an aspect of this horror that Izzy's gone through the entire time. And then in the third panel, the character that was enticing us from the first panel is stock straight. Her head is straight up, her arm is straight up, and she says, "You're not afraid anymore," to Izzy. And Izzy, it's blocked so beautifully, like just the way that the shadows from the roof, that even down to where the black frame from the roof bisects the word balloon, just beautiful. Just, it's the perfect panel, compositionally. The woman, even though she's straight up, she's off in the first third of the panel. Izzy's in the second third of the panel. If you bisect, it's probably where the woman's ear is. That's the halfway mark. Even if you look, her eyes are just a little bit above the middle of the panel. It's just so beautifully done. And then the fourth panel, you've got a situation where Izzy's going back to the guy that she's been with, and she's leaving. She's not staying there anymore. It's a callback to one of the previous panels where he had been walking towards her and his little son in a previous part of the story. And then you can tell, just like the figures are far away, or she's very far away, so she's coming to him to leave. She almost walks past him in the 5th panel. In the 6th panel, she's bent down to pick up her suitcase. Essentially, she's leaving. He's stock still and straight. He's not going to be able to affect whether or not she is leaving or not. But she's bent forward. She's not leaving in a triumphant way. She's leaving in a resigned sort of way. Her father is dead. She's learned, so that like but she knows that she's still going to be haunted by this devil, essentially. And you can see in the 7th panel that he's sweating it out. He's not sure that he even wants to deal with this kind of like person who's wrestling with these demons. He's not going to try and stop her, even though he's clearly in love with her. And then she leaves upstairs. So she actually leaves like the panel leaving away, but she's not leaving toward the end of the story. She's leaving back towards the beginning of the story. She's sort of trapped in all of her memories. She's trapped in all of the things that are going to be following her for the rest of her life. And indeed, in the rest of her arc, because she's always wrestling with flies and for the rest of the stories. And then he's sort of sweating it out. He realizes he doesn't want to stop her. And then the last panel is it's so beautiful. It's just this little cross. And he's there with his son. And he's holding the son very tight. And he's hugging him. Because they're the family that's going to be left behind. Their story is never told ever again. And just sort of hope that like he has like a good life, having run across someone who has been so plagued by demons, her entire life. That this little bit of grace that he's given her, that he's got with his son, this little bit of grace is like it's almost like the light is so faint, but it's still there. For him and his son, like in this very tender moment. It's just a beautiful way to end that story. He could have ended it with something about Izzy, but he ends it with essentially what Izzy's left in her wake behind her. So because Izzy is a character that's more important to the people that are around her than she is to herself even. So throughout the entire story, all 50 years of this book at this point. So I think it's just a wonderful little piece. It's a beautiful horror story. It's just done so well. Everything is so subtle. It's all those things like the crow's feet in the sand and the dirt. That image has stuck with me forever. Because you don't see the feet of the demon. You don't see the feet of the woman. You just see the thing that's left behind. So I just think it's a beautiful page.
And that's Flies on the Ceiling by Jaime Hernandez. Thank you, Scott.
Sure.
Thank you, Scott. Indeed, that's another great segment put together by Kevin. Thank you so much, Kevin, for doing these. These are fun. I mean, every time we get to see one of these, I enjoy it, and it was a great idea on Kevin's part. And if you have an idea for a segment ever on CAF updates or similar, feel free to approach me. That was Kevin and I were just talking one day, and I just said, I know he's really creative, and he knows a lot of creators, and he's always interviewing them for other things that he's working on. And I said, if you ever come up with an idea that you want to do, I'd love to host it for you, whatever it is, because I knew Kevin would do a great job on it. And he thought about it for like 3 or 4 months. We talked about it in Baltimore last year, and so it really took that long. 6-7 months before it gestated it into what we are seeing today. And it's really a great addition to the show, just like TAMD1 just mentioned. So yeah, hit me up. I'm happy to talk about any ideas that we can add to make things more fun and enjoyable around here. So now we're going to move over to a heritage preview, which there's a fair number of cool things this week. I thought there was better stuff last week or yesterday, but good things again this week as well. Go ahead and add this to our stream, and then we'll get on with the calf update when all this is done. So Kyle Holtz, this is a Venom cover. I like Kyle's work a lot. I know Berkey loves his stuff too. I thought this was just a cool image. He's just so talented. I mean, I think, as nice as this image is, the stuff he's doing now just even blows this away. But I've always loved his horror bent on his work. He's perfectly positioned to draw anything that has a villain, of any ugly level. And of course, you get Venom here that does the trick, right? So that's a nice one. I put this one in here only because I have my keyword set up with Heritage, just like a lot of other people do, and so I got a ping that there was a Cycle of the Werewolf illustration. So I went to look, and obviously it's an unfinished piece, and but we know there's a lot of Cycle of the Werewolf fans that are out there. So it is really nice. You as an unfinished piece, you get Bernie's pencils and ink in one image. So that's pretty slick. But the fact that it was already at $360 just tells me that it's probably going to go for a lot more than I'd be willing to spend, because I don't think I'll ever get to own one. But I always enjoyed Cycle of the Werewolf a lot, and I'd love to add one to my collection. But seeing this makes me feel like we won't see one of these in my collection anytime soon. Then I think I've got a couple painted pieces this time around. This is a Gabriel Dell'Otto Secret War page, and everybody I know likes Gabriel's work, so this is really well done. I mean, we don't get to see artists get the opportunity to do work like this too often, and I think it's gorgeous. I've always loved his work, so that is why I wanted to pick that one. Then here's a John K. Snyder piece, and I don't think I pick John's stuff too often, but the reason I like this one, let me just zoom back to show the whole page. I really enjoyed the 4 panels here on the right. Everything's got a loud, some kind of a loud sound, right? We crack, womb, and I just really enjoyed that. His approach to that. I mean, clearly the sound was an important addition to the way he decided to structure the page, and I mean, this is from, I didn't even check. It's Suicide Squad. So it's with Jeff Isherwood and Luke McDonald's inks potentially on this one. And it looks like it's signed by Jeff. But again, sometimes, I've picked stuff for good reason because of the panel layout. And this is one of them. But never usually because of sound effects. And again, it's clearly the motivating factor in the construction of this page. Then there was a Tailspin Tommy Hal Foster page. I mean, you just can't go wrong with anything Hal Foster, right? But I mean, I don't even know where to begin and look at this. But every panel is just beautiful. I should have checked the size on this thing before I decided to pull it up. But it's Hal Foster, and most of us could never afford a Prince Valiant Sunday or strip of any kind. But here is something that could be, and ending it in a good, fair spot and affordable for some of us. But I thought that was nice to see. Then another painted piece. This is when Paulo, for those of you who followed Paulo early in his career, these were the oil paintings that he talked about when we were doing that conversation with him a few weeks back. And they were always cool. I mean, you could tell Paulo had a lot of style. The only thing that was tough, and it's always tough if you're an oil painter, is that things can get really muddy or muted. And while I wouldn't call this muddy at all, and you can see the muted tones kind of carried through the Spider-Man book, and it didn't hurt the art at all. But it really, the cool thing was just seeing how, the potential of what Paulo was going to become, and through a painted page, something that didn't really, I don't really recall seeing a lot of pen and ink work by him when I first started looking at this stuff. And this is like done on Masonite. These were hard pieces to haul around as well. And I mean, there were a lot of reasons why Paulo switched from working in oils, but I remember, the fact that these were kind of an oversized masonite pieces. So yeah, cumbersome in many ways. So there's that one. But it's so you got that. And then Dan Adkins, I always love Dan's stuff. So I saw this fanzine illustration. What is it, 66? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Dad, he just got a cool classic approach that you're used to seeing from 40s and 50s illustrators. So he's always consistent. And Tim Sale, if you're a fan of Thieves World, as I was, here's your opportunity to get a couple pages from that. It's super cheap right now. I'm sure after people get back from San Diego, it'll go up a bit. But I've always wanted something from this, so I might throw a bid on this one myself. Then Alex Raymond, can't go wrong. I mean, this is a Rip Kirby daily from 1947, and I mean, I didn't even read it. I just looked at the artwork. I mean, the shadows in this piece, the rich blacks. This thing is unbelievable. And what is it, 50? I mean, it's 76 years old. Yeah, 76 years old. I mean, and it's still in this great shape. So I love Raymond stuff, and this one is it's a doozy, as Berkey would say. Then okay, I can move on. That was it. That was all of my heritage picks. So of course we know that there is, at least I'm pretty confident there's no EXP this week, because we know that Nick Barucci is in San Diego. So we will hear from Nick after next week. Maybe I'll try to check in and see how his panel with the Frazetta panel that he's sitting in on went, and we'll talk with him a bit. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say next Friday when he gets back from his trip. So now we can get on with the CAF update. I think we can get started on the a few things. I don't have it. I was so busy today. I didn't even ask my son to do the little video clips and stuff. So I'm just going to pull up the market data reports just to give you some quick overviews on these. What were we at this week? 331,000. Last week was at 217,000. So 331 is about the average where we'd like to see the dealers at. So they actually had an average week. But why did that happen? It was because Felix sold 198 pieces for $201,000 with his Felix San Diego Con. You take his sales out and we're back down to $131,000. Now, I mean, that's not terribly unsurprising in the lead up going to San Diego, because most people are kind of packing and shipping. I mean, Berkey shipped his stuff 2.5 weeks before San Diego, and Anthony obviously packs up as well. But both of those guys actually had decent sales with 40 and 33,000 combined. Albert had 20,000, Will 14. So but you take out Felix, and it's an awful week for our sellers. Now, this of course happened on the week of the 10th to the 16th, so it is after the holiday. So no good reason for an off week for the dealers. But top sale was Robert Crumb from Albert Moy, Snoid Page. Those are always very popular, and not surprising at 18.5. We had a John Romita Jr., Scott Hanna, Spider-Man page that Berkey sold for $13K. It looks like a death. Oh, I know what page that is. Okay, Kamala Khan death. Okay, makes sense now. Berserker cover from Felix by Trad Moore, one of his many art drop pieces. This one went for $10,000. Godzilla 1 cover from Trad Moore sold for $8,000. A Steve McNiven Alien #1 cover sold for $8,000, and also from Mike, a Golden Age Superman page from the Schuster Studios sold for $8,000. I missed that piece. So there you go. And then there's just going to be a lot of other Felix related stuff that went as part of his many art drops last Monday through Friday. Now, as far as the auction houses go, and this was actually a pretty decent, $386,000 between both eBay and Heritage, and there was no special auction last week. Okay, so eBay, we had we can confirm this or not. There's a Jim Starlin, Steve Lealoa Warlock 10 page, says it sold for $30K, and we'll see if that's true when I go over there. No, here, actually, let me go ahead and I'll just do this so we can all look at it, right? So this was one at a make offer. Somebody was going to charge $500 shipping on this one too. Wow. So it says best offer accepted. So if we go over to our handy dandy 130point.com site, we can get a accurate price on this thing. Let's see. Let's usually just copy the whole title, makes it easier. And okay on the end of there. So it sold for $22,000, not $30,000. That's a bit more where I would have expected that page to be at, but pretty solid for eBay. I guess that's probably what helped eBay have some strong numbers, because out of that total, they had 174. Usually they're in that 130 range. So there was a Joe Mad Uncanny page that went for 5,500 and a Corey Walker Invincible Splash that went for 5. I mean, that sounds high, but let's see. Nope. One bid, 5,000. Okay. Well, I'm wrong on that one. And then over at Heritage, there was a Carl Potts Moon Knight cover sold for 16.5, a Liam Sharp Venom cover that went for 10, and a Corey Walker Invincible page that went for 10,200. Well, I'm just a dummy tonight, aren't I? So I guess I don't know Corey Walker's market. So that's all right. But anyway, so there you have it. There is my market report for the week. See, Jason says, see, I should have had Jason on. He could have cleared it all up for me. Corey Walker is expensive. I had no idea. I mean, what else has Corey Walker worked on that I don't know about? Well, that is what it is. So there you have it. That's the market report side of our CAF update. And you know where we go from here. We bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Chris Snorek. Where is he? Here he is. Hey, Chris.
How are we doing?
We're very good. Very, very good. We're I was busy today. Had all these these contractors in there finishing some work, so it just was just very distracted all day. And then once they got done, I just wanted to get that part of the house back in order. So I started, after being blown up for a month, and Maureen wasn't here, so I was like, if I can get it all done before she gets home, she's gonna be happy, and that's all I want. Because you know how it is when you keep walking.
That's all anybody wants.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So and she was happy. So it was time well spent. Right. So have you ever been to San Diego?
I have not. Well, I've been to San Diego. I've never been to the con.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I ever intend to go.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, it's for me. I mean, I don't mind going every once in a while, but it's so much work. It's so expensive, and maybe we'll see that this year it's a little bit more fun with less Hollywood stuff there, and people are going to talk a little bit more glowingly about it than usual. I mean, who knows? And maybe they won't. But it's just being on the West Coast. It's just a tough trip for anybody who's Midwest or East. It's just expensive. I mean, my flight out there last year was $1,000, and I booked it more than 30 days out. So
it's not easy. And I've got a lot of friends obviously who've gone, and it just hasn't been glowing reviews. I mean, basically they're like, yeah, it was okay, or like, oh, this one cool thing happened, or like we met this guy, or whatever. But it's not. It's never like, oh my God, you have to go. So for me, that by itself is enough to be like, oh, maybe I don't need to go.
Right. No, I don't think you need to go. If I could wean myself off of it permanently, I would probably do it too. Marcus has got the thing, giving it to you. I actually saw a piece of artwork I was going to buy for you today, and I was too slow on the claim. Yeah, I got a ping when Ken Carson went live. On the floor at San Diego, and like he does this a lot. I don't know if you follow him, but he'll sit down with one of his artists and get a pile of art from them, right? And even though it's offered to the people who are there, he'll just start flipping through it on his live stream and just make it available for people. And he was going through Scott Shaw's stuff, which was really nice. I
love Scott Shaw,
and he did a thing. And it was $75, and I'm like, I was watching on my phone, and I couldn't figure out how to text on my phone, so I was running into my office, and then somebody said claim thing, and I was like, son of a beat.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. I bought a piece from Quan off of an Instagram post from San Diego, so it does work. Yeah.
Damn. Well, I guess that's everybody's got to get creative. You got Cool Lines doing their own
Yep.
little reveal with curtains, and I didn't highlight it, but I did see where was that, where Marcus said Albert says he's going to do an art reveal tomorrow. And all right, I can't wait to see what that is, Marcus. You have to film it and send it to me. But
I'm guessing it would be lascivious.
that's exactly what I'm thinking too.
Mhm.
But yeah, that is interesting though, with the different ways that people are marketing their work, especially at shows, because in the past everything had to be exclusive and only for the people who took the time to go there.
Mhm.
And nowadays people are just anything to sell, anything that an opportunity to have artwork in hand, they will market it in any way possible to get the sale.
Well, why limit yourself, right? You can broaden your audience tenfold or 100-fold or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Well, you have to let me know what you picked up when.
It is a Stephen Platt Punisher.
Really?
Yeah, it's very cool. It's little, but it's really cool. It was really tight, really like nicely inked, and yeah.
Well,
And I don't have any splat, so check the box.
Yeah, I actually never owned anything by him either. Let's see here. I remember when Marvel Fan says I picked up 4 Think pieces this past week. One of my favorite to get. Oh.
Another competitor has entered the arena.
Oh man! All right, well, let's dive into our CAF update. I know I saw Kazra was saying we were going too fast, but I'll be honest. Tomorrow, I knew I had. I've got things to do. My daughter graduated high school. Virtual high school this year, and I just had no time to do anything with her. And so her favorite Disney park is Animal Kingdom. So I told her I've got Friday off. I'm just gonna, we're gonna go there and we're gonna hang out, even though it's gonna be probably like 95 and it's gonna be miserable. Yeah. We're gonna do it. So it won't be bad for me to finish things up a little bit early tonight.
Cool. Well, you are in Florida. I mean, it's kind of to be expected, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Today it was funny. It said 85, but every time I stepped out, it felt like it was 100. I mean, it was so ugly today. Absolutely brutal. Even the contractors were like, "Oh my God, I can't stop. Yeah, I can't breathe when I'm outside." I'm like, "Yeah, this is awful." And they're from Florida, natives.
Man.
So, all right, let's dive into this thing. You got a Josh Cassera X-Force cover here, and I just have to say, it's when I love the image because I love Josh's stuff. I just thought, it's like I know this is Colossus. I don't need the little extra lens flare off the top of his head. But other than that, man, this image kicks so much butt.
Yeah, tastefully done though. So this is in Dan T's gallery, and Dan T and I have known he's had this for a long time, and I've been pimping him to add it to CAF. I'm like, I want to pick that piece. I want to pick it. And so he finally messaged me, and he was like, I'm putting it up. So I knew like when to look for it and whatever. So yeah, I dearly, dearly love this cover. I love in particular, I love when people draw Colossus, like, so the bigger, the better, I think. Like the bigger he is, the better, the taller, the wider, the thicker, like all that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. But he's so deftly nailed like the metallic elements, like his arms in particular. Like the way he did the mirroring effect on his arms, that kind of stuff. I love the kind of like additional detail he put into the musculature on his hands. And I also just love, Colossus is such a stoic character typically. And I think that this cover just like nails the characterization of the character.
Yeah, no, I was going to mention the fluid feel of the way he's drawn the metallic muscle areas and stuff, the veins. I mean, look at that. That's like, it's almost like a Tradmore vein if he was going to draw veins on some character. I mean, it's just all wavy. and same thing within the face. I mean, I love just the way that he did that, because that's not everybody's going to go ahead and add that kind of extra detail. They can let the colorist do it or something, and just not worry about it. Remember, like when we were talking with Matt Wagner the other day, I don't know if you saw the sales show, but he was talking about when he started leaving stuff out of his own artwork when he was coloring it, because he knew it's like, heck, I'll just do that when I'm coloring.
I'll get that, when I color it,
and so you look at that, and so he didn't need to add those details, but that again just finishes this thing off as a great work of art. I mean, it's stunning, and Colossus one of, after Cyclops, one of my favorite X-Men characters. So I love it.
Yeah.
But you had it. How long do you think Dan had this before you got him to put it in his cap?
I think he actually says below. I think he's had it for almost a year.
Oh my gosh!
If I recall,
It's
took him
holding out
quite a
on
while
us.
to actually get it in the boat, so to speak. Like he reeled for a long time before he landed the fish. But yeah, I think he's had it for quite a while.
Yeah.
Anti-Colossus beard.
I know. I was just going to read that.
Grow
too.
up.
Grow up, Jason. But at least he admits it's a big miss on his part. So yeah. Marcus says Billy Butcher Colossus. He kind of has a Billy Butcher beard there, I guess. But yeah. Well, chased it for 18 months, had it for 6. Well,
There we go. Okay, 2 years total.
It's a beautiful piece, Dan. It really is, man. Yeah. Well, here, let me get here. Now I've put a like on it. I've proven that I like it. Next, Claudio Castellini. This is a Silver Surfer piece from 1995. We can't click on it, but
No.
there is a lot of detail in this beauty.
Yeah, this is the first time. This was when I really took notice of Claudio Castellini. This is one of the first, I think, big, if maybe not the first big American comics project he worked on. And obviously kind of as the, I guess, artistic inheritor of, Big John in a lot of ways, I think it made sense for him to work on this book. It's basically like a, neo-traditional version of his art, which I think is what really like makes this resonate with so many people. I love the page layout, particularly that big like splashy panel in the middle, I think is so well done. And then if we were able to like hone in a little bit more, that figure, the head on the bottom right is just so incredibly intricately detailed and washed, and it's like layered. And yeah, there's just not enough good things to say about this page. This is another one where I approached the collector and asked if they would post a better scan, and they did, but it's still not. And again, they're not premium, so we can't blow it up. But
Right.
I really encourage people to go look at this thing.
No, I mean, I same thing. I saw a lot of detail in it. I love the layout. That caught my eye when I was just looking at the thumbnails. It has kind of a vintage Neil Adams-y kind of approach to the layout. I just enjoy it, and I do wish I could see more detail in it. I mean, it makes me want to go look at find a published version online somewhere so I could actually see all of it a bit better. But yeah, no, it's fantastic. And whose calf collar is this? Gianni Q45. But I feel like I've never seen that name before. They've been a member for 11 years. My bad, I guess. I'll definitely check out the rest of their stuff in their calf collar.
Gianni is a lovely fellow, so he was more than accommodating when he messaged me back. So thanks to him.
Cool. No, great pick. Now, Marco Ferrari, Darth Vader.
I think this is 2 out of 3 weeks that we've featured Marco, because I know ML's piece from Heroes made it in there.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I picked this because it's so insanely gory. I mean, he's crushing that poor Rebel Trooper's head. So it's got a little bit of like a kind of a Daniel Warren Johnson like hyperactive Star Wars motif, like Star Wars on crack. But the uber violence I think is great. I love all the screen tones on this piece. I really like, so you've got the Vader's power effect kind of coming off of his fist. He's doing the crushing, and how the gore from the Rebel Trooper kind of like mirrors that same arc as the power effect.
Yeah, that is really nicely done. I mean, as far as gore goes, it's very nicely done.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of I'm pretty impressed by the use of Zipatone on here as well. I mean, there's a lot of masking and trimming,
layering, and
yeah, there's a lot of work that went into this piece. That takes a lot of patience. I mean,
sure.
Again, anybody who uses Zipatone to that degree, and they're got a high skill level using it.
And, to be honest, could be much, much, much more easily done digitally.
Yeah. Oh, without question.
So to go to this length is a like, look at where he had to cut the screen tone around that blood.
Right. Well, that's the thing that got me is
This
I'm looking at
to craft.
I don't think I'd have the patience to do all that.
Right.
I mean, like even like just that little extra cut right there, right? I mean, that you got to put in there.
Yeah.
That's just like, yeah, he's putting in the time on this one.
And this is the result. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Justin Z, very good. I really like this image by Nick Klein. Doctor Strange, of course. Click on the larger image here. Yeah, this one I think was one of the most commented pieces from last week too.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of good reasons for that, but the Basset Hound in the foreground is one. Just like I had to pick it. I was look at those legs. Like if you've ever seen a Basset Hound, I mean,
oh yeah,
Nick Klein nailed that. I mean, his tonal work is like second to none. I mean, it's actually, you can call it tonal or, wherever you want to call it, but like, this is like a signature kind of like Nick Klein method of like, executing this technique. When you see this, it's instantly recognizable as Nick Klein, and it's got like something to do with the rendering, but I think it's really got more to do with the application of the tone.
I think you're right too. I mean, because I've got a Thor page by him, and he does the way he lays out these really kind of flat tones like that. I mean, well, not flat, but you know what I mean. I mean, the way he's handling the shading on these pieces really makes it's like a signature approach to the way he does his art today. And yeah, I mean, it's a great piece. I mean, I love Nick's stuff a lot.
Some of it is so, I mean, I don't know, almost mind-bogglingly consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Though, to your point, like the I guess uniformity or consistency or whatever you want to say of like one area can be like almost it looks difficult in its simplicity.
Right. I mean, because you just look at Doctor Strange's attire, right? The emblem in the front, that gray tone is a little different than the gray tone that he's using around it. I mean, it's just interesting how he approaches this stuff, but
it's a wild composition. I mean, it's a wild concept, and just so perfectly executed. And again, for me, it's about that dog. I just love that Basset Hound.
There you go. And Felix ships very quickly, says TMD1. I believe actually I've gotten a couple things from Felix, so I would agree with that. Well, Marcus, Marcus wins on that one. Congrats.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
All right, now Tyler Bentz. I love Tyler's stuff. This is amazing.
So I picked this for a couple reasons. That first of all, it's amazing, and if you ever get a chance, if you're at my house, you can pour over one of these in person, or if you get a chance to visit the inimitable Mr. Riddle, you can look at this one. But the funny thing about this is it has a story, which is Tyler got 2 requests for thing commissions for Heroes this year. And he showed both on Instagram, and I saw this and I thought, oh my God, I wonder if that's mine. I knew there were 2, and I knew that the other one was Riddle. And then he posted the other one, and he had a cigar. The thing had a cigar. So I don't know if I told Riddle this or not, but I basically messaged him and I was like, that one's mine. And I sent him a picture of me smoking a cigar, and he was like, okay, it's yours.
Well, you would have been happy with either one, but yeah, the cigar
definitely.
But I know I love his detail work is just so crazy. I mean, looking at this, it's I don't know how he does it. I mean, because there's so much patience involved with doing something like that. I mean,
it's microscopic in its detail. It really is. And I think what's even cooler about it is they work as like an entire image too. It's not just about those insane little details. Like if you go out and you look at it, like you really start to appreciate the layering effect that all those little ticks make.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, it feels very graphic at that point, this is something that would be done for advertising. It's so well done, but you're right. The detail in it, in the chin, the area around his lower lip. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the level of thought that it has to take. They're incredible. His pieces are incredible. So congrats to Riddle on this one.
I agree. All right. Next up, we got Mark Laszlo, Hellboy: The Crooked Man. And whose collection is this? Oh, Tyler T.
Tyler T. Yep.
Oh, boy.
I really love this because I think it so cleverly straddles. So in my mind, there's a distinction between cartooning and illustration, and this is both. And I think that's difficult to do. And I think when it's done well, you get something like this, because this obviously works as an illustration.
Mhm.
But then, like, when you look at Hellboy, like, look at Hellboy's face. Like, that's just like that emotive expression where it's like, it doesn't need to have any realism to have verve, to have like life. I think that's what really makes good cartooning, and this has that in spades.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I didn't think of it or look at it in that way, but now I can't help but look at it like that. Now, well, for this piece, I love the composition of it. I mean, I was drawn to that immediately. I mean, this is like,
and that's where it's good illustration, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, just looking at everything pulls you into the center, but you get drawn into these ancillary characters around the outside, but you keep coming back to the woman on the horse and Hellboy. And yeah, I mean, it's a lovely piece. I love, the whiteout or whatever they were using to do the paint there. I mean, it's a great illustration. But yeah, Tyler has a good eye, doesn't he? I mean,
that's a fact.
He doesn't have. I don't think he has too many stinkers in his portfolios. He picks some great stuff.
And I hate to do this. I'm loath to pick people like week after week, but he posted a piece today, and I'll be damned if I'm not thinking about already picking it for next week. It's insane.
I saw that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man, but yeah, this is a beauty. And so this was used as a commission piece, so it should be a cover. Holy mackerel!
Yes.
I assumed it was printed. So wow, dang! How did Tyler get it? Okay, not only does he have a good eye, he's got great luck. Or he's very adept at picking good people to commission. But this is that's amazing. All right, next up we got it says X-Men. And obviously, I approve of this piece.
I'm a sucker for a Jim Lee tribute, and everybody knows where the source of this image came from. I like that, it's quote unquote updated, right? It's kind of like today's style versus when this image was originally, or when these covers were originally conceived. But I think what I really like the most about it is the fact that, like, he added so much action to this. Like, those covers are, I'm not in any way, shape, or form ever going to rip on Jim Lee. Like, you could put a razor to my neck and I'd be like, I'm not going to rip on Jim Lee. Mm-hmm. But when you look at those covers, and if you set this side by side, this is really dynamic by comparison. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that, but because they are pretty stiff characters on those covers at the end of the day. I mean, they really are. Yeah. And yeah, there's nothing stiff at all about this. And I shouldn't even say that, should I? After Marcus's comment earlier.
Marcus way.
I know, exactly. So moving right along. But no, I mean, shoot, man, the Wolverine alone is worth the price of this piece. I mean, that is an amazing image. And
he didn't change like that much, right? I mean,
no, it makes me want to go back and look at Jim's cover now.
Yeah.
Because the way you've got the X-Men logo in the back that he's pitched or canted, out of the way
and obscured.
Yeah. So now I want to see, how true to the original cover is he positioning people? Should Colossus be over here? I
feel like it's all like exaggerated, like in multiple ways. But yeah, I mean, clearly the spirit of it's still there, right? We all know exactly what he's after.
There you go. Hey, Mr. and John, Mr. Easy Go Lucky is at a San Diego hotel room. We saw a picture of you earlier, John. You were hanging out with Sharon, and you had some signed comics in hand. So
We put a
welcome to
screen
the
name
show.
with a face.
That is true. But yeah, no, great piece here. And I didn't catch. Okay, Simon K. Simon's got a pretty decent calf gallery. I've been in a few times. What do we got here? 3 more to go from you. Now, I see. I like this piece too, so I'm glad you got it, Chris Pacello and Tim Townsend.
That's the dream team for me. Well, Townsend's the dream anchor on Pacello for sure, for me anyway. I think he reins everything in a little bit. I think he makes everything tight, legible, graphic, which we see here. But you don't lose any of the Pacello character or, the charm or whatever you want to say. I just, more than anything, I love kind of the super graphic Spidey that's, the underpinning or the background of the piece with the 4 little like vignette panels laid over top of it to do the storytelling. I just think that this is a really clever page layout and a great device.
Agreed. And I always love Tim's inking over Chris's stuff too. You're right. He does tighten it up quite a bit, but you don't lose Chris in it at all. But I mean, and I think Tim was always good for that. Anybody he worked with, he did the same thing for. Joe Mad, you name it.
Definitely Joe Mad. Yep.
Yeah, Tim he just had a real. I mean, and I know he got grief. I remember when he was inking Quitely on New X-Men. There was a lot of people who didn't like it. And I think it's just because they love Frank Quitely's pencils, right? But I thought Townsend's inks on Quitely were fine. It's like they didn't give Scott Hanna crap when he inked Quitely, but when Tim did, there was a few people who said a lot of unkind things about him. But I thought I've always enjoyed Tim's work. I mean, I think he brings out the best in the pencilers that he's gotten to work with over time. So
I would say that in my mind, the mark of a great inker, versus a good inker. A great inker is when they're able to like apply some of their self to it without, impeding or intruding on the penciler, without cramping their style. That's something that I would say, well, some people would criticize Kevin Nolan for, making things look too much like Kevin Nolan. But in so many instances, I actually like Kevin Nolan better than the guy he's inking on top of anyway. It's okay with me.
So you don't mind it. Yeah. Very true. Very true. But yeah, a good pick. This was on my list as well, but you got to it first, so you won. But yeah, a very good one. This was KCA's Calf Gallery. Sweet. And Steve Davich got the memo and went out and got something by Carlos. And this one's gorgeous. I mean, I hate the fact that it's a great scan from Steve, but man,
look at how good this is.
I know. And weren't these commissioned? Oh, wow! Chris Snork's device, his camera just disconnected, but he's still in the green room. I remember I got a text from Kazra when he was doing these. I forget, were these done as like commissions or were they pre-done pieces? I don't really remember, but I just remember seeing these and thinking, holy mackerel, these things are unbelievable. Look at that. Look at the man thing right there. This thing is freaking amazing. And I know there's got to be a few other ones out there on CAF already. I think we picked one of these once before. But look at that. That is a feral tiger if I've ever seen one. Then, again, the inking style on this stuff is just phenomenal. I mean, it's so well done. And I like the presentation, right? I mean, let's go back to being able to see the full page. And Chris's screen is still black. He popped back in. He'll be here in a second. At any rate, I'm kind of curious what else is on here, what other people have gotten on CAF, because, okay, at least there's a couple other ones here. One from Billy Henson. Oh, here we go. Hey, Chris.
My webcam died.
Yeah, I saw that it gave me a message that your camera cut out on you. And
wow.
Sorry
about that.
No problem. Let's go back to this piece by Carlos here.
Yeah, so I think that this, I mean, first and foremost, this was a really clever assemblage of characters, I think, to request from Carlos, because it so neatly aligns with his style. So I think that was great on the part of the commissioner. But I mean, then you just get to talk about the execution. I mean, you could talk about Man-Thing for 10 or 15 minutes just by himself.
I know. That's yeah. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Yeah, what all the characters are so well done, and he's got a. I'm trying to think of what artist he reminds me of.
If you think of it, I want to know. I can't peg this guy.
All right, because Kazra probably should know. I mean, saying that he should shout it out in the chat, but it reminds me of Vatch Mavillion. Or is that how you pronounce his name?
Oh, Mavillion?
Vatch? Is it Mavillion?
Mavillion? Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Kazra will correct me, but his pen work, because Kazra gifted me a piece by him, and I picked it because it had a similar kind of flair in his illustration work. I mean, he's done a lot of comic stuff, but the piece I got from Kazra, and he had like a whole portfolio of it, was these illustration pieces, and they were, had a similar, like when I look at, the way this character is done. I mean, everything's just flowing.
Voodoo, yeah.
Just the way he's done those inks there, it's just they just flow, and they don't make a whole lot. They're almost turn of the century or 19th century kind of illustration or print.
Yeah. So what's interesting, I completely get that comment, and I think what's really interesting about that too is that there is not a lot of variation in line weight here.
Right.
He's achieving what he's doing by layering lines versus varying line weights.
All right, Rich is telling me Batch is a little bit more Frazetta-y. I'll have to dig my piece out. But I get you. But again, these were fantastic, and I kind of regret not trying to get one when he was doing them. I don't know if he's still.
So I think he does these between commissions. That's what he told me. So I have a Wildcats from him that I am struggling to get framed. Yeah, and these are, I mean, I don't want to like blow him up or anything, but these are so cheap, you guys, so cheap. And he'll basically do like almost as many characters as you want, and he just makes them longer and longer and longer. So mine is like, I don't know, I think it's probably 26 or 28 inches wide and like a foot tall. And that's why I say I'm struggling to get it framed. But yeah, this is I just love his stuff. I hope he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And like if anybody has seen his full commissions, they make these look like nothing. No offense. I've got one too, and I love mine, but his full commissions are bafflingly good.
Well, this one's I'm gonna have to keep my eye out. If he takes these regularly between bigger gigs, I wouldn't mind getting something from him.
I just messaged him on Instagram, and a couple months later, it was done in my hands.
All right. Well, congrats to Steve Davich for picking this one up. He's making sure we understand how to pronounce his name. Let's see here. Oh, that was my search result. There we go. Garcia Lopez. I think this one was picked up at Heroes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I believe so. And I basically picked this because, like, look at what this guy is still doing. I mean, I've never seen him work like in this, I guess, format or style before with this kind of like, I don't know, almost like uniform, like it's like a tonal painting, but it's color.
Right.
So I just think that this is such a cool treatment. What a great way to do Wonder Woman, obviously because of the coloration, but who do you want working? Sure, Perez and Jimenez, obviously, but Jose Luis Garcia Lopez on Wonder Woman. I mean, come on.
You can't go wrong there. I know he did I don't know if this was a pre-done one or one that he did at the show, but it was funny. I went back. I'm doing some research on Jose when he, because he's going to be at OAX, and I was looking at his commissions over time, and it looked like there was a point in time, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, where he was doing a lot of painted convention sketches. and then that stopped. So I don't know if he's kind of just getting back. And they weren't color though; they were tonal. They're just all black. But I like this too for that. The fact that it had color in it, and it was so cool to see because there's definitely been a stretch where he wasn't doing these at least as frequently or winding up on calf. So congrats. Who got this one? I didn't check. Labs is okay. Whoever Labs is
This is just beautiful, and I mean, so much respect for this guy, and just the ability to practice his craft at this level at his age is astonishing to me.
No, I completely agree with you on that. And let's see. Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a keeper. So Labs, you did a good job on that one. All right, moving over to my picks now. Thank you for doing those, Chris.
Of course.
Let's see here.
You got your new camera working this week?
Man, this camera is going to be the death of me. I've got it where it's not stuttering anymore, but it's still like a second behind, or not a second. It's like a half a second behind. If I wave my hand, it's like a mirrored effect. And so I haven't done it yet, but I wanted to take it over to my daughter's Alienware machine, which is newer, because I've got it plugged into a laptop, and even though it's only 3 years old, maybe it just doesn't have.
So the camera is exceeding the capability of the device that it's plugged into.
Right, and I got one of these HDMI inputs to a USB that you have to use in order to use one, but even that, and the people, I'm on all the tech forums, and they're like, maybe your internet's slow. I'm like, dude, I'm running the local web app for the thing to make it a webcam, and it's slow. So no, it's not. That's not the internet. It's the connection to the computer. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get it working on Gwen's computer, and if so, I hope I don't have to buy a new computer to work with.
Oh man,
webcam.
For your expensive new webcam.
I know exactly. It's just the price keeps going up and up and up. But yeah, well, we'll see. So here, let me get my stuff going here. But yeah, I've been trying. Gotten lots of advice from people who are well versed in Nikon cameras, but none of it is proven fruitful. All right, so we got a Dave McKeon piece here to get things started. Black Orchid trade paperback, 1991. I just love the color choices in this one. I mean, it pops. There's a lot of Dave's work that that for me, I'm just not a huge fan of his stuff, but all the time. But I like the image on this thing a lot. I like the composition. I should probably click on it a little bit because I know it's a huge scan.
It is, yeah.
Him doing Swamp Thing here is just fantastic. And I'll be honest, I do something about the way he handles Batman has always been cool. Then he's always kind of a graphic guy, right? I mean, I love the background and everything behind Batman here. So just a cool overall image for me. And again, I like the color choices in it. They're just so stark and just not non-traditional in all kinds of ways.
No, and not even, I mean, really making an attempt to blend them, right? Like they're very disparate, and like the unifying element is that halo.
Yeah, exactly. So that was awesome, and it's in Chris Kay's Calf Gallery, who of course has a phenomenal collection of original art for those of you who've never been in it. So I would encourage you to check his stuff out if you haven't already. Let's see here. I think probably a lot of people have seen this piece by Ian Bertram. I mean, who doesn't love Ian's stuff? I mean, he's incredible. Another one of Felix's guys that I mean, I'm looking at it now and I love the damn thing. I don't even like Evangelion at all, or whatever you pronounce it, but I just love this guy's stuff. I mean, it's so slick. I mean, that aliens image that Felix got, as a commission, just blew my mind. And I see stuff like this and I just love it. I mean, it's and then these are probably large too, right? 20 by 30.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, he's got a good style. I mean, this is the kind of guy, that, and I don't get commissions anymore, but I'd love to, like, I don't know what character I'd want him to do, but I'd love to get something by him and just to see what he would come up with.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, you were talking about Matt Allison a little while ago.
Mhm.
Like when you see Matt Allison do a treatment of a character, you know that like, you know, he's going to cankerize it typically and like add some of his own flair. Well,
Right.
Ian Bertram takes that to like to the nth degree. Like there's no question of, you know, I don't care who it is. This could be Thor to your point or whatever. Like it's going to be Ian Bertram's version of Thor.
No, I agree. It's really nice. Sorry, I was reading through the chat too. No, it's USB 3 required, Murdoch, not 4. So I did check that before I bought it just to make sure it would work. But Jordan said that on that last piece, if Alex Ross and Bill Sienkiewicz cloned a baby, it would be Dave McKean. So nice to have you in the chat, Jordan. I haven't seen you in a while. Jordan's going to be on an amateur dueling dealer match against.
I saw that. We haven't had one of those in a while.
I know you know, well, who knows? Everybody's getting busier, right? I mean, I think the last match we had was in January, that tag team match that we did.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I've had a very busy 6 months, and I don't think we just have. Jordan's always, just so everybody knows, Jordan's ready to rumble whenever somebody else wants to. So if you know, he's thrown it out there. You if you've got some art for sale, I've got somebody to have you go against. Jordan is always ready. So so yeah, that's great. But again, I love this piece, and I love everything that Ian does. And this is Comic Art Channel, of course. They have a very good calf gallery as well. So so here was a Zafino. I mean,
I'm so glad you picked this.
I was like, why didn't I thought I was scratching my head why you didn't pick it.
I picked Zafino last week.
I know, but I did, but still, this is a piece like straight up your alley, you know, as far from all of it. It's graphic. It's you know, it's very, you know, it's just in the structure alone and the composition, it has all the hallmarks of a piece that you would pick. So I was shocked when you didn't get it. So I had to do it. But
you know me too well.
But yeah, I loved everything about this. I mean, it's just the composition alone. I mean, because this is all just loose stuff. It almost doesn't, you know, it's inconsequential, even though you know there's bodies and swords. No, it's fantastic. And just yeah, I mean, I saw this and it wasn't on your list, so I went back and snagged it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Conan has arrows sticking out of him. Come on. How can you not like this?
I know. As Rick Welch has said, so badass. Absolutely. Yeah, that one's a keeper.
It's got a skull though, Bill. Sorry.
Oh, and Kent Mansley's Kent Mansley posted actually a couple pieces last week that I could have chosen. I think I actually had one other. What else did he post? Because there was another piece I think I had selected for a little while.
And what a great gallery he has.
I know.
He and I park our cars in the same artistic garage.
Right. Where was it? Oh, I actually did pick another piece of his, so I didn't realize that. Oh well, he posted. There was a couple other pieces that I really liked. I like the Paulo and Joe piece here, and what was the other piece I had on my list for a while? Oh, the Toth.
Me too.
I had that one selected for the longest time as well. And then I finally was like, in my head, I said, I can't pick two Kents. And I still did, damn it. I won't tell you which one I did. But obviously, I need to pay a little bit more. I need to pay a little more attention when I'm doing this.
That's funny.
So this one, you know, this is just probably an odd pick. It's in Andy Worth's Calf Gallery. This is an Alan Kupperberg Spidey page, right? It's 9-page layout. I just, you know, I love the bordering that he did here in his storytelling. I mean, I saw it and I'm like, I like it. I mean,
some like EC Comics flair there.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's got that cool first you know, black costume Spidey appearance drawn into one of the panels. I thought that was kind of unique about the page too. But yeah, I just like I like the storytelling. Because we all 9-panel layouts are like the classic, right? I mean, and to see it kind of busted up and done like Kupperberg did here, I was just like, well, I want to highlight it.
Cool.
So I did. Yeah. What was the next one I got? Oh, Miko Swayan. I mean,
oh man,
I love everything he does. He just puts so much detail into it, and it's so soft. It's so accurate. I mean, you know, he's just damn
it's perfect.
It is. I mean, I'm looking at, and we can love lots of different people. Alex Ross was just mentioned. I mean, there's so many talented artists out there, but Miko's just got a flair about the way he handles stuff. And it's not like, is he going all out trying to put in a ton of detail? But the detail he includes is all just so important to finishing these pieces off. I mean, the grate behind him, that doesn't need to be there, but he's added it, and that's as important as anything else.
Right. Look what it does for the piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the folds in his costume. I mean, he's more worried about that than drawing a bicep. It's just, he's just such a smart designer and illustrator. I mean, I love his stuff.
I think that what is so, in my mind, great about him is that when you're capable of this, you're also capable of over rendering, but he doesn't. Like, he knows exactly where to stop. He reins it in. Like, to your point, he could have gone crazier with like the wrinkling in the costume or the whatever, right? But like, he puts enough in to where it's like, oh my God, look at the rendering in this piece. Look at how tight this is. Look at how detailed it is. But not where it's like, oh, this is like visual vomit. Like, what am I looking at here?
Nope, I agree. I mean, he's amazing. And he is on. He's going to be at OAX, I hope.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. If you haven't met him, or you probably did at Heroes, didn't you?
I did not. No, there's so many people that I didn't meet. I met Jose Luis Garcia Lopez in the lobby of the hotel. That was like as good as I did.
I saw him at the airport, but I couldn't find his booth at the show, which was kind of lame. Now, hey, I have to tell you, this piece was actually posted the Sunday beforehand.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I didn't see it. And I mean,
God, I love Kegel.
So you saw it? Okay. How'd you pass it up? I was kind of surprised. I was like, damn, how did Chris not see this one? Because I saw it. I was going back through for something and I saw it and I'm like, I like this a lot. I didn't
pick it because I picked so much goddamn Batman last week.
Oh, that's right.
I can't do it.
Okay. Well, I had to pick it because I was just like, how could we have missed this one? So
and I think this is Scratchboard.
It is Scratchboard. Yeah.
God damn.
I know, it's just insane. It really. I mean, I can't think that way, to think in reverse and work like that. But the lighting in the piece is just gorgeous. And again, it's Scratchboard. It's crazy. I don't know how the hell he can do this, but
God bless him for doing it though, because look at this thing.
Right. I mean, I love the way it's rendered. I love the border that he's put in here.
It's creepy. I mean,
yeah, this is damn good. Now, what was it? So it was a cover. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's done a run of Detective Comics covers now.
Cool. Well, this is Troy Pierce's pre-1900 Batman. Yeah.
Yeah. Inky Knuckles, everybody. Cam. That's his rep. Excuse me. There are Evan Kegel pieces for sale, believe it or not.
Jason says we need some vintage picks on this show. I just had that Kupperberger on there. What do you want? You want something or Kupperberger?
You need to relax.
Jason. Yes, exactly, Jason. So here's my other Kent Mansley piece.
And I was going to pick this too.
I mean,
but again, I did no Bat characters this week.
All right. Well, I've put the taking care of that for you, man. But we see so many Bruce Timm stuff, right? I mean, you could pass up tons of it. I mean, because it's all always good. But this piece is in color, but I didn't even pick it because it's in color. I really just the way he's handled the cape and the composition on this is just so slick. I mean, I was smitten by it. I felt like I'm like, how and the hair too. It's like it is so unique to this. I mean, it's something I can't say I haven't seen Tim do something like this before, but damn, this is so nice.
I think this is vintage too. I think this is an older piece, and I think I'm 99.9% sure that Kent Mansley is not the original owner or commissioner, because I know I've seen this image before.
Hey, look at Jason says he wants to sign up. What weekend or what week are you out? But when is it? When you're going to be out of town sometime in August, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
You sent me an email.
Not next Thursday, the following.
the 3rd?
Yeah.
Jason, are you free on the 3rd? If so, we're signing you up.
Put your money where your mouth is.
That's
Jason.
right there, bucko. Let's see. We want to see a 10 picks that are all vintage. We want to see you avoid modern pieces.
I
Yes.
hope he's melting down in his house right now. He's like, "Ah, damn it.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys.
I'm going to go strangle a fish.
Oh boy. Yes, Kent Mansley again. See, I told you I picked the second one. All right, he's going. He thinks he's good for the 3rd. All right. Anyway, so that I had to pick this thing, man. This is
I love
just
it.
phenomenal. All right. So Declan Shalvey, I think many of us love Declan's work, and on this one too, it's like kind of I love the sky. I'll be honest. I love the way he rendered the sky and the clouds. Yeah. And then so Darth was kind of secondary for it, but I love the way he's just kind of handled him as kind of a silhouette there with the ground. I mean,
this is Wrightson-y.
It is. It really, when I saw it, in a weird way, I was a little disappointed when I saw the thumbnail. I was like, oh my God, it's like Wrightson, and and then when I went into it, it's like, okay, well, it's not the same level of detail in the clouds, but it really doesn't matter because he's put in just enough. He's put in just enough to make me think Wrightson when it was.
It's evocative of without being, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the image down here, it's kind of like it kind of competes with the sky in its own weird way because I don't look at the bottom and I think Wrightson at all. I think more of Declan's typical style. So I just love that. I mean, I can't see how he wasn't thinking about Wrightson when he did the clouds. So I just love the overall image. It doesn't have to be Darth Vader. That didn't mean anything to me. I just thought it was just a beautiful image and deserved to be picked.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
It's like I feel like Jason's rubbing it in every time he says a modern favorite.
That's what he does with me with Mignola now too. If I can never pick Mike Mignola again, it's just going to be.
I saw he ribbed on you about
Mignola
when he had that.
I can't pick Hellboy, I guess either.
All right. Well, this is a good one. Who's Han? All right. Yeah.
Oh, can we look at the color image?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, but I like it. I mean, I love the lighting on Darth there is pretty well done.
Very cool coloring choices.
Not bad. I mean, as an overall cover, yeah, damn good. I love the heavy red in that. All right, 2 more here from me. John Bolton. I just always loved John's stuff, and as and this is vintage 88. You could compare him to lots of different people, but at the end of the day, I mean, I just think I've always just had an affinity for Bolton stuff, and I love the composition on this piece. I'm sure, what is this, commission, a pinup, vintage color pinup, trimmed on a comic board, no less. I love the color palette. I don't know. I love everything about it. I mean, it's so well balanced as an image. I don't know. And Bolton's not somebody
it's got like an old school like role playing game feel to it.
Sure.
Does it say what it's from?
It just said pinup.
Okay.
Looks like it says that 2-1 or John. Oh, John Bolton.
That's John Bolton. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch
88.
that.
Wow.
But yeah, no. I mean, it's just a great image. I mean, yeah, we don't pick enough Bolton.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for a guy who was as active as he was for as long as he was, you would think we would see more.
Correct. Yeah, that is odd. But yeah, well, I've always loved his stuff. So congrats to My Name is Legion, Sean L., for picking that one up. And finally, from Johnny McCloskey. I know I picked one, I think, from Johnny last week or the week before, but it was kind of hard for me to pass this one up by Corona. The overall image on it, it's so damn busy. But I think I picked something by Corona recently too. I think I did.
I think Johnny.
I think doggone it, man.
I think you're a fan, Bill.
I get. You know what? Maybe I am hooked now that I think about it.
Cool.
I totally forgot about it, but it's just a gorgeous image. I mean, and I really picked it because I love everything around the characters. I just thought it's busy, but but it works for me. Dang, I think I am a fan. That doesn't happen too often, does it? And it's more modern, Jason. It's a modern piece again, my friend.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to avoid Johnny McCloskey's calf gallery for at least a couple weeks here.
You should probably though email Johnny and ask him what the hookup is for this guy's art,
Right.
so you can
I
pick
think
something
you're
up.
absolutely right. But I do. I mean, look at it. I mean, just the capes are drawn so slick. I mean, I really enjoy his approach on the figure. But I did.
I think I
forget.
said before that this reminds me of Jason Pearson, and this one does even more.
Yeah. And for a lot of reasons, right? The splatter, the
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, you've got graffiti going on here. I mean,
The
there's-
spindly figures, like, you know, everything's like
Mhm.
shapes.
yeah. All right. All right. Well, there you go. Those are my 10 picks tonight.
Awesome
So,
picks.
thank you very much. I think we both did a very good job. Although we didn't pick a lot of vintage stuff. Yes, exactly. But Jason's going to set us straight in a few
Oh,
weeks.
he'll fix everything.
All right.
And I only wish that I could be in the peanut gallery that night, but I will be in Florida. I'll be in Key West.
Well, I'll let you know if he picks the Hellboy piece or you know, if
Mhm.
he falls out of line in any way. But yeah, I'm sure he'll do okay. Where are you going to be? You said Key West?
Yeah, my sister and brother-in-law are having a 10th anniversary party in the Keys, so we're going down for that.
Oh wow, that's going to be a lot of fun, man. I've only
Yeah,
been there a
good
few
times.
times, but I enjoy it. That's a place I could go almost any time and have a good time there.
Yeah, the Keys they're awesome.
Cool. Well,
All right.
thank you as always, Chris. I'll see you next
Thank
week.
you. Yes, sir. Later, everybody.
All right. Well, see, look at this, man. It's barely after 11 and we're done. So, you know, I think next week you can definitely anticipate more San Diego updates. I'm sure I'll be getting some more video clips and things. I mean, we're going to get, I can't believe that Marcus won't send me a few other things. Oh my God, Marcus, dang it. Marcus sent me an email and I totally forgot to get the image off of it. Marcus, I will show that image next week, I promise. So there was a milestone. A milestone was hit by Marcus, and he had the screenshot to prove it, and I forgot to prep it for tonight. I will have it for us next week. So with that said, again, next week's going to be a long show. Guarantee you that. We're going to have Bob Layton on for a little while, and there's going to be, I guarantee you, at least 2 or 3 OAX announcements. And it's going to be a fun show. It'll be more of the variety show that you're used to having, where we have a lot of guests coming in. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But it's, you know, what's been kind of interesting the last few days, not having to do a Tuesday show this week or a Wednesday show, and nothing Friday through Sunday. It's weird. It's weird feeling like a normal person and not having something to do every single day and every single evening. But what I can guarantee you is that after this week, I mean, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a 6-month blitzkrieg of interviews and things. I've been talking to a lot of collectors who I don't have pinned down to do interviews with, but they're all really going to be great. I mean, lots of fun stuff. I promise you that. And a lot more creators on the channel too, as in the lead up to OAX. There's just so much to do, and it's good to have kind of this 1 week where I don't have to work as much, so that we can focus so much time and attention on the work that we've got to accomplish these next 6 months. So Jason wants a pick for Marcus. Anyway, I'm not going to give it away. He crossed the 1 billion comments on Calf. He could have done that. He'll do that someday, Southern Comic Geek. Cyclops piece available at Mannix Table. I saw that, Marcus. Where did I see that? I thought Dinesh might have picked up. Oh no, that was a Cyclops piece. You're right. I saw Dinesh picked up a Wolverine piece. Anyway, all right. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Those of you at San Diego, enjoy the rest of the show. Please, if you're at San Diego, hit me up if you're taking any video clips that you think are worthwhile or any photographs. I'll set up a Google Drive folder for you, and you can upload those things, and we'll play them. We'll show them next week on the show. You know, and I hope everybody is picking up a lot of artwork. I spent a little bit of time on Facebook today and didn't see too many, you know, purchase posts. So I'm expecting over the next few days to see a lot of those. So I hope everybody shares what they've been picking up And again, have a great show. Have a great weekend. I will see you again next week. All right.